I wanted to allow one of my delegation members to speak on my behalf, because I brought with me two farmers from my country as part of my delegation. One is a very strong supporter of mine, and one did not vote me in the last election. But they're two very productive farmers. And I want to say to us that we have the capacity and the ability to supply ourselves within the region with a lot of what we need to consume. And some of my colleagues would have alluded to some of the challenges that we face. The reality is, I cannot understand why is it that I'm able to export avocados to Europe and North America, but I cannot export it to some Caribbean countries. And I can't understand how we export ginger, which is such in high demand to help fight COVID-19, but we cannot supply the region. But we can send it out to Europe and out to North America. So the reality is, the action to transform agriculture and give farmers that comfort and that confidence that they so need is within our hands. And I think we need to, as part of the process of advancing this very lofty and welcome initiative led by the President of Guyana, of which I am in total and absolute support of, I think we need to itemize the actions we need to take and take them. And take them. Because if we're to allow CARICOM, our people, our ordinary folks, to feel that they're part of an integration process, farmers and fisher folk, they must be able to benefit from that process. And the reality is, in my country, we can supply the region with a wide variety of crops at affordable prices, and to safeguard the health of the region. And this all of this extra regional agricultural produce with also chemicals in it, causing a lot of health problems we have in the region today. CNC, we're scared of COVID-19. We should be really scared in the Caribbean of diabetes and hypertension. And then we have a high incidence of obesity in the region caused by what we eat. So this initiative is not only about economics, it's also about the well-being, the welfare of every citizen in the Caribbean region. We as governments, we speak about helping farmers. But in the process of attracting jobs in the tourism industry, we give concessions to these hotels to import food from outside the region. Can we not address this and say, let us first buy from your country, and that which you can't find from your country, you can find it from a brother or sisterly country within CARICOM. And so we have to remove all of these fictitious impositions that we put in. All hide under phytosanitary conditions and this and that. These are all just unnecessary actions that we take. And so I speak on behalf of the farmers about access to farm labor to move within the region. But we're sending farm workers to Canada every year. And so we're helping the agriculture, we're helping the economy, but within our region we cannot help each other by allowing farm workers to move freely within our region. And so I'm really here to speak on behalf of the farmers. I'm a farmer myself. I am completely self-sufficient. I eat fruits every day, and every one of them come from my farm, grown by me. And so I speak here, my Prime Minister, St. Vincent's there, and St. Lucia, and Grenada, and Windward Island. We have the capacity to supply a significant amount of food to the region. And we need to work together. We need to allow our produce to come in freely on unfettered manner. and allow the ordinary folks within the Caribbean to feel, for the first time, the true benefits of the integration. We have made a lot of good things happen within CARICOM. But the ordinary folks, the farmers, the fishermen, this would help our economy so dramatically. And this is why I'm here, President Ali, in Guyana, to register Dominica's firm support for this initiative. And if we miss this opportunity, as we did with the Jagri initiative, and Jagri worked on this diligently for many years, and we failed to take the action. This has been precipitated, this current program has been precipitated by the challenges brought on by COVID-19 and the supply of food. So let us not let this opportunity that has been brought up by us by a crisis to elude us. We have our students here. I am very concerned about the future where food security is concerned if we do not concretize the recommendations in this 25 by 2025 and beyond initiative. And we as current leaders, I believe there is the political will to allow it to happen. The private sector must come on board and not display, a rush to profits and believing that you can get cheaper produce from outside in larger quantities and you flood the markets. No, let us allow everybody to survive within our Caribbean space. And the farmers need that. We can supply you, and these two farmers alone can supply you for a significant amount of supply within the region. And then if you add me to the mix, you can understand, And we have Farmer Brown from Antigua. So I want to thank you. I want to commend the leadership of Guyana. I remember back in the 80s, we had a small spar between Eugenia Childs and Forbes Burnham over rice and over soaps. And Eugenia Childs told Forbes Burnham, you could baby with your rice and I'll be. We have excellent relations with the leadership of Guyana and the people of Guyana, and we look forward to working with you, President Ali, to realizing this tremendous effort that you've put into one of the most important sectors in our Caribbean, agriculture and food production. And so let us all join forces. Let us all join forces to make this happen. It's not going to happen only because of us, and it's not going to happen by us only as political leaders in this country, or these islands. Every one of us, or the consumers, we cannot, as consumers, talk about agriculture, what government is doing for agriculture, and then we take our trolleys and we go to the supermarkets and we look for the foreign produce. That we believe that the beef coming from elsewhere is not comparable to the beef coming from Guyana. So if each of us here and those who are listening to us, the millions who are listening to us within the Caribbean region, were to make a decision today that we're supporting Caribbean produce, we will solve our problem. We will solve the problem. Notwithstanding, and then you would put political pressure on these leaders to remove all the barriers that they have in your countries. Because you would be saying to them, I do not want any ginger coming from a country that doesn't have land. I want Dominica ginger. And let us have it recognized on the supermarket shelves. Let's pass regulations to force the supermarkets to put CARICOM produce. In our government, we have a very firm policy. We support Caribbean goods first and foremost. We don't buy any rice but the rice that comes from Guyana, or a state-owned entity that imports rice. We don't buy any sugar except the sugar that comes from Guyana. That's our policy. We don't buy any flour except the flour that comes from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Even if sometimes the price is high. We are cushioned because we understand if we can keep the dollars in the Caribbean region, it's going to benefit Dominica eventually. And if each of us adopt that attitude, then our presence here in Guyana going forward would be a great success. Thank you very much, and God bless all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, Guyana is on the cover of the April 2022 edition of the National Geographic magazine. I hope you had a chance to see it. It features